19. When I was shuffling the spread out for you guys, I saw two images. So the first is I see this man. He's a little bit overweight, and he's had a really big meal. And he's like at this island, this Caribbean island. It's got like sparkling water, white sand, and he wants to go scuba diving. So he's just recently eaten, and he wants to like dive really deep into the water to check out the corals and see the marine life and things like that. And so he jumps into the water, and it's like this big cannonball splash, and he floats. So he's struggling to try to dive, but then he's floating. I don't know the mechanics behind that. I don't know how to swim, but I would imagine that he feels like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten so much. Now I'm afloat and I can't, sink down to the corals and see the fish and, swim around. So I feel like he was really struggling. So that was the first image. The second image is, funnily enough, I see somebody typing on a keyboard, and it looks like a female finger, like hands. And her nails are long. She doesn't have thick nails. She just has her regular fingernails. But her, I guess the fingernails have grown out, and so it's hard for her to key and touch type correctly. Okay, so she feels like she's tapping the wrong keys. And so she looks at her fingernails and she's all like, it's time for me to cut them. So she starts cutting them. She's like, it interferes with me when I hold a pen to write. It interferes with me when I try to touch type. And so that's those are the two images that I'm seeing. Both of those images, I feel, definitely applies to this spread. Because what I feel is happening in your life right now, we have the Fool. This is wanting to soar, wanting to explore some type of a new territory, wanting to do something that is outside of your comfort zone, and wanting to kind of like embrace all the opportunities that are trying to manifest in your life, that you are trying to manifest. I see many of you having this deep desire to kind of like push that reset button in your life, to do things differently, to apply everything that you've learned from the past in order to excel, in order to do things right, in order to be able to soar and achieve your dreams. And there's definitely some emotional hangups. This is sort of like life is calling. You have new opportunities, but no, I'm not ready yet. I'm not prepared. I have all of these things that I have to do. So no, I'm holding off on that. And so those are the first two cards that flew out anyways in this spread. And to segue back into the image, the nail cutting, okay? And I know that you guys are probably very sick and tired of people telling you about cord cutting. And, in the Aquarian mind, it's sort of like, what's the point? What's the point? How is that action symbolically, metaphorically, psychically going to achieve anything? Once I decide to move on, I've already decided to move on because your willpower and your mind is very strong. And so when you hear cord cutting, I feel many of you might scoff at the idea, or might like be so sick of hearing about it to the point where you stop listening. Okay, so bear with me is what I'm trying to say. So let's talk about cord cutting. Okay, so just think about the fingernails, right? And maybe some of you can connect with the symbolism behind it. When you're trying to touch type and your nails have grown really long, it's hard for you to gauge the right key. It's hard for you, your sense of distance is a little bit off, right? And when you're using the computer, your distance has to be very concise in order to hit the right key, in order to type fast, in order to move fast. You have to let go of things that have outgrown, okay? Think of it like that. So cutting your fingernails, it's a physical action. It has physical results. It allows you to streamline your work. It allows you to type faster. Cord cutting has a spiritual impact. So cord cutting is a spiritual activity, it's a spiritual action that has spiritual impact. Whereas nail cutting is a physical action that has a physical impact. So think of it that way. So the other image, the man that just, ate, and then he's a little bit kind of overweight, and he's having a really, really hard time to sink to the bottom of the ocean in order for him to explore all the beautiful things, around the barrier reefs. So he's just, that's what I'm feeling for you. It's almost like you need to get yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually ready in order for you to do this new endeavor and to do it right. And so, take 5-10 minutes out of your day. Hopefully, after you watch this, light a candle, play some meditation music, whatever it is. Sit down on an empty table and think about the things that you want to release. Okay, you can make a list. You can recite it in your mind. Making a list is probably something that you guys like to do. It keeps you on track and it makes sure that you don't forget anything. Whatever it is that you want to release, okay? I, based on this spread, would say there is a person in your life that is a major barrier energetically. They're a major barrier in your love sector that's disallowing you to move on. And you have left them in the past. You have sailed away as indicated in this Fool card. But energetically, without you knowing, they are drawing your energy back in. Does that make sense? This is something that you have moved away from, emotionally, physically, but they are energetically drawing you back in, taking energy from you. And I feel this is an X. It's an X. And it is creating blockages for you to meet new loves, for you to have the love relationships come into your environment. So energetically, you are being blocked by this person. They might not have any negative intent, or they might not have any, I feel, it's not like they're doing this on purpose. It's not like they know how to, manipulate energy and try to keep you energetically stuck to them or tethered to them. This is something that is inadvertent. So it's not like this person is this horrible person putting barriers and barricading you, keeping you stuck to them. And that's why this symbolic act is going to help free you. So sit down, make that list of all the people, all the things, all the emotions that you want to release, okay? Write it down in that list. So energetically, this is going to make you feel a lot freer, a lot lighter. And once you have created that list, you want to just say, I'm going to conduct this cord cutting to release all of these things from my life. Take a piece of cord and take a scissor to physically do it. Okay, so that's how you can start to kind of untie yourself from the past and energetically to free you from the past. Okay, so once again, it is a symbolic action. Now we're taking it into the physical realm so that we can free ourselves and untether ourselves from energies that are not good for us. Okay, and what I see here, slashing through things that are no longer serving you, slashing through things and people and just situations that are drawing your energy. This is the Six of Wands, overcoming obstacles in order to achieve success, because you have some really positive things that are coming in here. And as I'm telling you guys this, and I know a lot of Aquarius watch tarot readers, the view counts are through the roofs, like with my channel and other people's channel too. And but deep down, you guys are very, very skeptical when it comes to rituals and I guess the ideology, the spiritual ideology behind tarot readings. Okay, it's sort of like taking things with a grain of salt, or 50% in, but still 50% skeptical, right? So I would urge you, even if you're skeptical, do this activity for yourself. Okay, it's not meant to hurt anybody. It doesn't send out any negative vibes to anybody. It's just to free you so that energetically you can reclaim your power. You can feel whole again so that you don't have energy leaking from you, so that you can move on. Okay, so even if you're skeptical, do this for yourself. It takes 5, 10, 15 minutes. Even if you feel like, oh, it doesn't work, then that's fine. It's 15 minutes. At least it'll get you, to into that meditative state. Or at least it'll help you formulate that list so that you are cognizant of what's on that list that you need to let go of. You can write as many things as you want, but I honestly feel it's due time, okay? So put your skepticism aside, because in life, and you can relate to this message because you guys are very, I'm all in or I'm not in at all. Okay, so in life, we can't do things in a half-assed manner, right? So if you're going to watch something, take the advice wholeheartedly. Okay, don't continue to watch if it's a half-hearted attempt to only take what you want and then leave the rest behind. Does that make sense? So try to do this. I feel like it's due time and it's going to be very good for you. Okay? So what we have coming in, we have here the star, lighting the way, being able to feel very inspired. I see circulation. So like, I don't know if many of you have gotten a lot more physically active, but I'm seeing this breath of fresh air. It's like liking the way your body looks, liking the way that you feel, feeling lighter. So I don't know if you've been shedding a lot of weight, if you've been foregoing food, turning down food, and if you have been just a lot more careful and mindful about what you're putting in your bodies. Okay, so I see a lot of people trying to do cleansing, not even a juice cleanse or anything like that, but I feel like you're trying to get into a better, like trying to get yourself used to a better diet, or changing your diet, changing the way you look, changing your physical appearance, making yourself look more professional, making yourself look more put together is what I'm seeing. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I feel like there's definitely some changes. And I feel it's coming about because of another person. Okay, so I feel like you're changing your habits, you're changing the ways in which you do things, because your actions are linked up with another person. What you do affects another person, and so you're trying to bring your very best, the purest form of yourself and of your actions, because it affects another person. For some of you, it could just be, parenting, wanting to be your very best physically so that you can, stay on top of the kids, or trying to get yourself in best shape so that you're not tired when you're playing games with them, trying to research and learn things so that you can educate the children, for example. And then I see for others of you, you might be in a work situation where every little thing that you do matters. And I mentioned before last week, I believe, you're under scrutiny. It's almost like the things that you send out into the world is going through a review process. So you can't really half-ass it and send something that is, slapped together, because it's going to face scrutiny. So I feel like what you do really matters. So you're like more attentive to details. You're sending the best of yourself to the best of your capabilities forward, because whatever you send out is a reflection of you, and you want to make it as good as it can be. And I feel like this also translates into your physical appearance, okay? So if you've been and I know this is weird, if you've been breaking out a lot, if you've been dealing with like, especially skin situation, like skin conditions, like unexplained rashes, unexplained breakouts, unexplained hair loss, and things like that. And I feel like some of it could be stress, some of it could be dietary changes, some of it could be just hormonal things. But I feel like, I feel like there's going to be some breakthrough or some alleviation of that. Okay. Um, so that addresses the first four, well, the first four cards here. So we have two kings showing up in the spread. I have here the King of Pentacles and the King of Cups. So I'm not going to name signs because what I feel is the cards are falling out based on the pictures and the way that the pictures and the people and the court cards, whatever, are interacting with one another, the way the cards interact with one another. So what I'm feeling here is you definitely have somebody that really wants to create a life with you, okay? They don't know how, but they really, really want to work with you as a unit, okay? And it's hard for Aquarius to work together with another person because you're so independent and you have your way of doing things, and when you want things, you just kind of get out there and make it happen. So they see the effortless way in which you make things happen in your life. They see you as, always striving for more, always wanting to improve things. You might be someone who is like an efficiency expert. You have a really fast way of doing things, and you're always trying to find better ways of doing, ways to streamline, way to get things done faster, way to increase efficiency, and ways to increase the quality of the things that people do or that you do. And so they see you as somebody who's like constantly on the go, jumping over one hurdle at a time. You're not there to sit and ask for help from other people. You just blast through it. It's not like, shoot first, ask later. It's not that. It's just that you have an intuitive knowing of what I need to do in order to overcome this obstacle. And you're not one that is evasive or conflict avoidant either. You face your fears head on and you slash it. You slash through it. And they see this about you. And, from the outsider looking in, people think it's reckless. It's not reckless. It's just having a really, really strong sense of self and having an accurate assessment of your capabilities to know when you absolutely need help and to know what you can blast through, right? So this person sees you as like a force to be reckoned with. They want to build a life with you. There's a lot of love here. There is a lot of love. I have here 10 of Cups. This is the family card, okay? Completion. And you rarely show this side of you until you are kind of, I just feel like somebody has got you very weak in the knees. It's like you trust this person. King of Pentacles, King of Cups. These are very, very trustworthy people in your life. So if it's a love relationship partner, you trust somebody with every fiber of your being, and that's a really rare place for you to be. Because once again, like I mentioned before, that 50% skepticism, like one foot in but the other foot out the door. So it's hard for you to trust 100%, but you've got somebody here that you trust 100%. And you're able to put yourself in a position where you're vulnerable and exposed with this person, and you trust this person, and you trust that, no matter what, they're not going to do anything to hurt you. Okay, it's sort of like this vulnerable, exposed child learning things, discovering things for the first time. And whoever it is, they're handling you with like kitty gloves, and they're not going to hurt you. And you know this. And it's taken a long time, I feel, for the cups to, you know, rack up or to build up to this point where it's like, at first we were very apprehensive. No, 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 it can't be. They can't be in love with me. They can't feel the same way. No, 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 I'm just gonna, you know, bide my time, or, you know, wait for them to show their actions. And then we have the Star, wish fulfillment, and we jump to the Ten of Cups, total trust. So you have somebody here that wants to build, and I feel like, once again, that sense of skepticism, it creeps back in, and it's like, you know, Aquarius, even when life deals you, you know, rainbows and lollipops, I feel like so many of you have been so jaded, or I don't feel like betrayed, but I feel like jaded in the past, where all the good things that are coming your way, you trust it half-heartedly. you trust it half-heartedly. So it's a sad place to be. And so that cord cutting is going to allow you as well, you know, make a note on that list, trust issues, okay? Or make that note on the list, like the feeling of not deserving, because I feel that's what it boils down to. Why should I trust this when everything that I've trusted and put so much stock in has always failed in the past? Why should I trust this when everything in the past has come with strings attached, right? You've been burned. You've dealt with a lot of opportunists that have taken a lot from you. And your light still shines. And you're encountering a love that is very pure and true, and a partner that is very dependable. But you have to trust that this partner is not going to break that trust. And it's hard, but you have to trust that whoever this is, that you can be vulnerable around them. I feel for some of you, this is like a work environment where somebody who is in a position of authority cares about you, okay? Like they care about you. They want you to prosper. They want you to thrive. But there's also an emotional connection where they care about you. They want you to be happy. And if you're not happy here, they want you to go wherever it is that can make you happy. So they're okay to relinquish control and to relinquish, you know, to let you go so that you can find your happiness. So you've got like some really, really genuine people that really care about you. They're not self-serving. They really care. And so you have to let down the barriers, and you have to learn to trust. You have to learn that I can be a baby in this situation. You know, not like the tantrums and the temper flare-ups and the crying and things like that. Or the immature behavior, but in a way it's like I'm learning things for the first time. I'm discovering things from the first time. It's okay for me to make mistakes. It's okay for me to defer to somebody else's advice or expertise or judgment, because they've been there and they have more wisdom than I do, or more experience than I do. So it's okay for me to put myself in this situation and tell myself, I'm learning everything brand new, and I don't need to be so perfectionistic about it, okay? Or I don't need to prove to anybody anything, because I'm learning this stuff for the very first time. So that's going to be a huge burden off you when you can be in this environment where people are supportive, and you can let yourself be more childlike, more carefree, and not have to feel like you have to live up to such unrealistic standards that you set for yourself. Okay? So, the other 4 cards, what I do see here, we have here the 3 of Cups and the 3 of Wands. So the 3 energies are greatly about expansion, collaboration, dealing with other people. And the 3 of Wands deals with projects that are a little bit more on the playful end, okay? And the 3 of Cups deals more with like social gatherings, getting, you know, like grabbing a group of friends, grabbing a group of coworkers, going for happy hour, sharing ideas with each other in a more social environment, okay? So even if it's work, it's like getting together and not talk about work, but talk about everything else, so that you can establish a really, really good working relationship. We don't have to bare our soul and talk about, our childhood trauma during these gatherings, because the Three of Cups is more of a playful energy. But it's allowing you to connect to other people, and it's allowing you to be able to feel, I want to say, it's not about being social. It's more like to emotionally engage and to emotionally connect. Okay? And once again, I have to reiterate, you're with good people. You're with good company. You're with good people. Everyone's heart is in the right place. And so we kind of need to, let our guard down and to allow these connections to happen. Finances. With the King of Pentacles, what I feel is it's almost like your work is being appraised, okay? Your work is being made better. Your work is being improved. So I definitely see a maturation process when it comes to your thinking, when it comes to learning technical skills, when it comes to being able to use your intuition and your logic to blend the two and be able to, do really good work, and to have people in your work environment very happy and giving you, positive feedback for the work that you're doing. So you're going to shine really bright. Going back to this love triangle situation, there's somebody in a relationship that you might be trying to get to. Okay, and I feel like, there's this sense of reciprocity. We have here the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Whenever I see two court cards of the same suit, especially the King and the Queen, it's sort of like a good match, okay? A match that is meant to be, because emotionally you both are on the same page. But the cup energy is a realm, it's the water realm where you're not very comfortable. And so what I'm inclined to say here, and I see so many cup cards, so I have 4, 10, King and Queen, and then the Three of Cups. It's full of cups. It's full of that emotional realm. You have to let your guard down. You have to be able to match what you say with what you feel. Okay? And to not say one thing while you're feeling another. And what does that mean? Maybe that's also something that needs to go on that list, okay? To be able to speak from the heart, to be able to understand that speaking from the heart and expressing how you feel doesn't make you cheesy, doesn't make you weak, doesn't make you vulnerable. Aquarius tend to think that, and that's why we don't express our emotions verbally, even though deep down we feel the weight of it, but we don't know how to verbalize it. So I feel like that's something you can put on that list, so that when you cut the cords, I feel like it's just a space of, writing it down so that you're more cognizant of it, you're aware of it, you're aware that these are things that you have to work on. And that's what I feel. It's like you're a baby, you're learning things. You're learning to express yourself. You're learning to express love. You're learning to express gratitude. You're learning to express to somebody how much they mean to you. Okay, so regardless of whatever, whoever's in the picture, say your piece and say what you have to say. Okay, I do see there is somebody who is going to be walking away from their relationship partners, and it's sort of like, so I don't know if this is the person that you like walking away from their relationship partner, or it's like you're kind of frustrated with the slow pace in which somebody is doing things, and you're just like, I'm going to leave you to do your thing, I'm going to do my thing. I don't see it as like a breakup or walking away completely. And I feel like, water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, they're a little bit slow when it comes to acting, okay? Water signs take a really long time to mull things over. And while they're mulling things over, they're going to talk to you about it. They're going to talk about the entire process, what they're feeling, what they're thinking, what they're planning to do. And then when it comes time to act, they might not do anything that they planned or anything that they even, talk to you about. So their actions might be so far from everything that you've talked to them about, because ultimately their actions depends on how they felt in that particular moment. So you might be a little bit frustrated with them. All this talk and no actions. But I feel like they're in a space where they're afraid to do things incorrectly. Okay, so it's a matter of self-confidence, I feel, and it's also a matter of it's a matter of not wanting to make a mistake. And so be patient with this person. But I feel like some of you are just like, okay, I'm going to leave you to do your thing, I'm going to do my thing, and then we reconvene at a later time. And I also feel like earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, this is somebody who is a pillar of strength to you. And this is somebody that, wow, so I'm just seeing this, you know. So look at his hand, and it could be male or female. It's like, I'm giving this to you, and what's right underneath it that he's pointing to, this 10 of Cups. I want this with you. I want the whole 9 yards, you know, the whole marriage, the whole children, the emotional stability, because I feel like they see that in you. So do some cord cutting, Aquarius. Cord cutting will actually clear out some of the emotional baggage, some of the confusion. So make that long list, whatever you want to release, write it down, okay? And take out a piece of cord and just, you know, physically cut it, release it. If it works, it's amazing. If you don't feel that it's working, then, you know, maybe you can try a different method. I don't know. But I feel like you're probably really tired of hearing people say this, telling you that, you know, you've got brand new energies, brand new starts all over the place in every single reading. And you're just like, but where is it coming? When is it coming? And so some of you might be frustrated. And I feel like the cord cutting is going to allow new things to come in, because then energetically you're not being pulled, or your energy is not, you know, leaking, so that you can be a little bit more focused, okay? I hope the reading is helpful, and a little bit long, but I don't really care. I saw another image too when I was looking at this card and then pointing down. I see this scale, and you know, the whole concept about, you know, when you're at the end of your life, right? You're standing in front of some type of a judge, okay? Some type of a spiritual judge, and he's telling you, you know, should we allow you into the gate of heaven? Let's weigh out your heart, and let's see if it's pure, and things like that. And what I'm feeling here is some of you might be in a position where you might be, I don't know exactly how to phrase this, but it's almost like, you know how we've been doing things by the book for so long, for such a long time, and then we feel somebody who might be cutting corners, and they're getting a lot of it's almost like, and this is a very specific message only for those that it applies to, but it's almost like there might be temptation to deter you from your track of morality, is what I'm sensing. And I feel like it's relationship oriented, okay? And be very patient with the people that you're dealing with, okay? We're all going through different life lessons, and we don't know where others have been unless we've been in their shoes. So it's easy for us to judge, and things like that. It's very easy for us to judge. So it's really important for you to kind of weigh things out, I feel, and to take, so let's say somebody who's really aggravating, right? And you're just like, you're dealing with the symptom. They're annoying, they might be depressed. So the bottom line is, you don't know where they've been. And so you find somebody who's especially aggravating. I feel like it's important to ask the why. it's important to figure out, you know, what have they been through that makes them like this. So you might be dealing with someone who's very defensive, and then you find out through, you know, through the grapevines that they've had really like domineering parents. They have parents that undermine them. They have parents that, you know, or were not very loving, and so they grow up very defensive, and they grow up just like with a chip on their shoulders, right? So figure out where someone has been, or at least give somebody that benefit of the doubt before you cast that judgment. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope the reading is helpful. You have some really amazing things coming in, and I do sincerely wish that you guys do that cord cutting. Okay, take care of yourself, Aquarius. I'll talk to you next month. Okay, bye bye.